Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a show for you this evening? My goodness. So let's get to it. This is the New York Times. Mueller objected to Barr's description of Russia investigations findings on Trump. The New York Times title is not Mueller Mueller found evidence that William Barr didn't inform the public pertaining to Trump-Russia collusion. He didn't say that. He did not say that. There's no evidence presented in this article. In fact, let's go ahead and get to this article right here. Mueller objected to Barr's description of Russia's investigation, not anything to do with evidence. Barr's description. Just a description. Not the fact that William Barr left out any evidence, not the fact that, Trump actually really did obstruct justice and we don't really know about it. Not anything to do to justify the endless, fake, bogus, nonsensical, irrational coverage in the past 2 years. Nothing to do with that. Absolutely, positively, nothing to do with that. Let's read what they actually write. Robert S. Mueller III, a special counsel, wrote a letter in late March to Attorney General William P. Barr objecting to his earlier description of the Russia investigation's conclusions that appeared to clear President Trump on possible obstruction of justice. He literally gave that so it wasn't about collusion. Notice how how Mueller doesn't say, hey, you know what? We actually did find information. You probably should tell the American people this. No, nothing. And to my super chat, by the way, you give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Thank you so very much. He doesn't say that. They say there was a letter written, a tepid, benign little letter. According to the Justice Department, wait a second, and 3 people with direct knowledge of the communication between the 2 men. I don't know if the Justice Department actually wrote some kind of public memo saying that this took place, but let's say the New York Times called the Justice Department and said, hey, was there a letter between Mueller? Did Mueller write a letter? And if they said, yes, Mueller wrote a letter, how on earth do they know the contents of the letter? Number one. Number two, and 3 people with direct knowledge of the communication between the 2 men. Todd Lefkowitz, thank you, Todd. Incentive to keep rocking, AJ. Eric H526, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Eric H526. Justin Way, rock and roll. Thank you, Justin Way. Thank you. Justin Way, thank you. And it's like, let's continue. So we'll continue with this nonsense. So the letter adds to the growing evidence of a rift between them and is another sign of the anger among the special counsel's investigators. Who cares about their anger? They should never have been formed to begin with. About Mr. Barr's characterization of their findings, which allowed Mr. Trump to wrongly claim he had been vindicated. Is this an opinion piece or a report? He had been completely and utterly vindicated. This is why they don't like Trump. They don't like Trump because he is his own news station. They cannot influence the American public anymore. The New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media, there used to be a debate as to whether it was there was a little bias. I remember growing up, the mere thought that the media was somewhat biased, that was like a huge Milo phone bill. Milo, hello, thank you, Milo. The mere thought that they could have been biased, the media, that was actually like Ginger, thank you. The mere thought that the media was possibly biased, that was like a kind of an uncomfortable notion that you couldn't really prove. I just remember that, like, well, you wouldn't even go there because the media was actually a lot more trusted than it is now. You didn't have activists. You didn't have, I mean, look, the DNC emails show they are friendly journalists. And that's why, they don't bring it up anymore. Snooch! Here's a few quid to let you know how much we appreciate you, bro. HA, you rock, my dude. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you. Thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you. So I just remember growing up, like, the media, you had, well, before my time, you had Walter Cronkite. Then you had, just, let's put it this way. Dan Rather lost his job for a story he got wrong about George W. Bush's military record. Okay? He actually lost his job. Now, not only do people not lose their jobs, but publications like CNN, like places like CNN routinely get things wrong, and it's okay. Snooch, thank you again. So the standard of behavior is completely different. The standard of behavior is just completely different. And so now you have three people with knowledge. Mueller objects to not collusion, obstruction. So Mueller admits that there was no Trump Russia. He didn't collude, which is what the whole thing was about. For 2 years, they didn't say Trump was obstructing this investigation. Here and there they did, but that wasn't the whole. He was being investigated specifically to get to frame him to say that he colluded with Russia when it was President Obama's administration who allowed 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, and Bill Clinton met with Vladimir Putin to speak about golf and Brexit, probably. But it was unclear what specific objections Mr. Mueller raised in his letter. Then why didn't he indict Trump? Okay, that is wrong. It's not that you can't indict a sitting president. If President Trump videotaped himself, if he videotaped himself, Candace, thank you. Candace, thank you so, Herbert, MVR Racing 3, thank you. MVR Racing, Candace, thank you. If President Trump videotaped himself, going into a bank and robbing the bank, do you think that he wouldn't be indicted? You can indict a sitting president. They're talking about a memo, 2 memos. 2 memos, one from Watergate and one from the Bush administration. That's it. You can indict a sitting president why did they even have this 2-year probe to begin with? Just to say that he actually conspired with Putin to hack the DNC and commit illegal acts like hacking the DNC, which, by the way, we have no clue if that actually happened. We're relying on a CrowdStrike assessment and 2 intelligence reports that have warranty disclaimers, the ODNI and DHS report that nobody's read on the left. You can indict a sitting president. They would have indicted him had he committed any criminal acts regarding an endeavor to conspire against the U.S. government, which is the U.S. Code 371, the statute that I talk about in my Federalist articles. That Strzok, McCabe, and Comey will eventually be indicted on. But so Mr. Mueller he objected in a letter But if he obstructed any justice, Mueller could have said, we couldn't get this. We couldn't get that. I read the 400-page nonsense. They never said anything like that. It was always Jeff Sessions. Oh, the trust Sessions. Jeff Sessions, his staff, somebody from his staff said that OMG, my presidency is done. I mean, this is the nonsense. We're supposed to believe this nonsense. Oh my goodness, my presidency is done. He used a different word than that Hillary Clinton read on the Daily Show. This was all for Clinton. She's running again. You think they're going to go with Biden? Biden has zero charisma and less than zero support among people who have to show up. You need to win Florida. With Democrats, you need to outraise your opponent 2-1 or you have zero chance. Democrats have zero chance if they don't outraise their opponents and get overwhelming media coverage. Overwhelming. So let's read this. So it was unclear what specific objections Mr. Mueller raised in his letter, though a Justice Department spokesman said on Tuesday evening that he expressed a frustration over lack of context in Mr. Barr's presentation. Anything less than Trump should be going to jail, but he's not, wouldn't suffice. You're talking about, it is so absurd. You're talking about Democratic loyalists. 13 of the 17 were registered Democrats. 12 or 13 were registered Democrats. Around 6 gave money. 2 of them, one who isn't a registered Democrat and another one, actually got the Steele dossier to read before even the election. They gave a total, the whole Mueller team gave a total of over $50,000. How on earth can this be objective? This is not, and that's the thing with the Democratic Party. When they talk about the United States government, the government, this was all national security. Well, you're not focused on national security when it's Trump or William Barr. You don't trust them. But suddenly you trust Brennan and Clapper and Comey and McCabe and Strzok. You trust those people. Those people you trust. Those people you trust. But everyone else you don't trust. Is that how it works? So, it's so ridiculous. Okay, Mr. Barr was scheduled to testify on Wednesday before the Senate Judiciary about the investigation. And watch my last segment. Robert Reich wrote an article. He said, William Barr should be arrested. Meanwhile, Brian Pagliano completely ignored his subpoena regarding the actual, setting up Clinton's servers, where she transferred top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government. Agencies were able to email her. And they didn't, there were no bells, no whistles, no alarms that the United States government had top secret and special access being emailed to clintonemail.com in her basement. How is that possible? Only Brian Pagliano knows. And guess what? He had a subpoena. He didn't even show up. Not only did he not show up, he didn't even give an excuse. William Barr has no problem testifying. William Barr has no problem testifying. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's not going to speak to He's not going to speak to lawyers of the Democratic Party. Madmar VCR, that's right. Big time. Big time. There's going to be a big party on this channel. Professor, the original Professor Chaos. The original Professor Chaos. Yeah. I want to thank you for your support and always for your kind words. And I read all your posts on the comment section. The original Professor Chaos. Thank you. You're awesome. You are awesome. So he's scheduled to testify Wednesday. He's not going to speak to committee lawyers. He's not going to speak to them. They're not. That's it. He's not going to speak to them. He's not speaking to the lawyers. Do you understand, Democrats? He's not speaking to the lawyers. He's not speaking to your ridiculous, absurd lawyers. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's like they don't get it. Like everyone now, all independent media, left and right. In addition, Eric H526, Willie Samoan, exactly. In addition to even most mainstream outlets, because Joe Scarborough was like, and I love his like earnest, hilarious shtick. It's so great. Snooch! Super chats seem a little slow tonight, so I figured I'd help get things rolling. Thank you so very much, Snooch. Thank you. Thank you. And for that, I'll do a Scarborough impression. So Joe Scarborough, he'll be like, "Isn't it great that we don't have a president in office that conspired against the American people? We finally found out that President Trump isn't as horrible as we thought he was." Albert Silva, thank you. Thank you, Snooch, again. Thank you. Albert Silva, thank you. And he goes, "But I gotta tell you that I think," now Mika, back me up on this. "I think that obstruction, if you look at what he did, and you just get this, like, you get this world that they live in that they go seamlessly from collusion to obstruction. Justin Way, rock and roll, honey." All day. Justin Way. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Justin Way. Thank you. Snooch. Thank you very much, Snooch. Snooch and Justin Way. Thank you. So it's like they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. "If we had confidence after a thorough investigation of the facts that the president clearly did not commit obstruction of justice, we would say so." Who cares what you would? That's hilarious. But you don't have confidence that he did, so why are you telling me this? It's kind of like you go to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you hear like, "I love you," and then you respond back, "If I had confidence that I didn't love you, I'd let you know." What? What does that even mean? Do you love me or not? "If I had confidence that I didn't love you, I would let you know. Therefore, we can cross that out of the equation. It is absolutely true that I don't not love you." Wow. That is really great. Zaytoon Report. Thank you. Zaytoon Report. Thank you. Thank you. And now we have Snooch, Justin Way, Zaytoon Report. Thank you. Now we have Biden with his like Michigas and his nonsense. Falvey Pollard. Thank you, Falvey. Thank you. It's just it's really unbelievable that it's like in one instance, Mr. Barr took Mr. Mueller's words out of context to suggest that the president had no motive to obstruct justice. Who cares if he had a motive? Who cares if he would have done something had he done something? Who cares if somebody said that he said something? It's all irrelevant. They live in their own world and they're going to lose. Please, God. Election day 2020 cannot come soon enough. It cannot come soon enough. Zaytoon Report, thank you. It cannot come soon enough. Election day 2020 cannot come soon enough. I mean, for the ultimate vindication. Just the ultimate vindication. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like jerk kid. I hope he does. The best thing that could ever happen to Trump, the absolute best thing, is for Democrats to continue to descend into this maniacal, rabid. I mean, I honestly want them to impeach Trump in the House just so Trump's like, you are completely lost all your marbles. It'll make him a lot more popular. Justin Way, Mike Oren. Keep rolling. I'm up to ears, Illinois. Mike Oren, thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Rider of a Pale Horse. Thank you, as always, for watching. Rider of a Pale Horse. Mike Oren, thank you so very much. In Illinois, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. It's just Ramla Farah, hello. It's unbelievable. Like, they'll never stop. They will never stop. And it's like, they're like, Washington Post said he lied 10,000 times. It's like a middle schooler that just doesn't like his teacher. And it's like, they just want to pick on the teacher and like, you told on my tally 15,000 lies. You said we would get ice cream as a reward, and we didn't. And you said this and you said that. Falvey Pollard, thank you. Rider of a Pale Horse, thank you. Thank you. So it's like, okay. Then you get like Trump's acting chief of staff jabs. He says he destroyed morale at the White House. Mueller is willing to testify, but Trump's DOJ is holding it up. Mueller doesn't have to. He can say whatever he wants to say right now. He can go on any show right now and give his thoughts. Might be bound by confidentiality, some kind of agreement. I don't know, but I don't think he is. I don't think he is. So Mueller is waiting to testify, but Trump DOJ is holding it up. The special counsel has indicated he's fine going up the hill. You know what? Do that, and then we'll ask about the Steele dossier. It will not work well. They'll ask. I hope they should ask about CrowdStrike. They should ask about the Steele dossier. They should ask about the lawyers, the attorneys who gave $50,000 to Democrats total. They should ask about Peter Strzok and about all the data on phones that were wiped clean. Alan James, how can we help Assange? I think that, I mean, there are some great journalists who have a better answer than that. Susie Dawson, Elizabeth Voss, they have an ongoing like vigil that I've been on numerous times. And they'll have a better answer than me. So they're on Twitter. I'm no longer on social media. So, um, but as you know, I view him to be a hero, and I want him free, and I've written about that. And still, it's not good for some people. It's like, whatever. I sometimes see like what people are saying about me, which is hilarious on Twitter. They're they're using my name to insult people, which is so funny. It's so funny. I love it. It's hilarious. It is really hilarious. So let's see here. I don't know why I'm doing this. So let's see what's going on Twitter. So now they're holding on to hope. I realized something also. They're not. They don't care if one part of the country feels one way. They don't care if one part of the country feels one way and another part feels another way. Like they don't care if what they if there are enough people who believe nonsense, it's okay. They don't have to actually be accurate. They can just simply say a lot of people said something about Trump but if you say a lot of people said something about Clinton, you couldn't get a dossier about Clinton. You couldn't. You couldn't get a team only of Trump voters who were attorneys to get for a special counsel against Clinton. You couldn't do that. Biden is like one news cycle away. Biden is one news cycle away. Absolutely one news cycle away. Falvey Ballard. Mueller's the warden in Shawshank. Let's look at Joe Biden really quickly. Oh, that's great. So they're Congress is investigating elements left undone by special counsel Mueller. Now you need to begin investigating Clinton, which she doesn't care. She's going to run anyway. It's going to be the same thing as always. You simply need to start investigating Clinton because there are actual crimes there, unlike Trump, and because there are no crimes there, like zero crimes. The guy has committed zero crimes. What about this? You have any evidence? Well, you have no evidence about Clinton. Oh, yeah. Yes, we do. James Comey gave all the evidence. So just go ahead and look at that. Then there's no statute of limitations for what she did. The transferring top secret intelligence, there is no statute of limitations. The accepting money from, and now they want the emoluments clause, not realizing they're going to go after Trump for businesses that he had prior to being president, and they haven't even proven that he's enriched himself in office because of his presidency. He's actually lost money. Tree climbing, thank you. The guy's actually lost money. Meanwhile, the Clintons are paid well over 100 million combined, and they're in politics their whole life. So you do the math on that one. It's not like they own businesses or they were in Hollywood or they are real estate moguls. All right, let's see here. So he sues Capital One and Deutsche Bank, which is great. Then it's like, this is NBC. Can Capital One and Deutsche Bank please Trump, Congress, and shareholders? The perception of being overly accommodating to Trump or Congress could alienate a wide swath of customers. Not really. I don't think so at all. Most people don't really care about any of this. Oh, then you get one guy. One guy, okay, part of the intelligentsia. He's a vindictive guy. Yeah. And his administration has proved it's willing to go to rather extraordinary lengths against private businesses to get his way. No. What? Extraordinary lengths? Congress wants his banking and lending information for no reason. What did he do? There's no specific allegation. Where is the specific allegation? Where's the 20% of U.S. uranium capacity that was sold under his administration after he received millions? So, I don't know. This is all a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense, I tell you. Sherry, congrats. I just left it. I just left Twitter. Justin Way. I love you, HL. I always support the channel. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Billy Bob, what are Joe's chance of beating Trump? Let's put it this way. I think that Hillary has a far greater chance than Biden, and I think Hillary has pretty much no chance, and she's running. Let's look at Biden now. Let's just see Biden. Slate. 2 scoops of vanilla with extra vanilla top. This is kind of hilarious. Biden's unconventional campaign is the comfort food many Democratic voters want. What? Oh my God, he looks horrendous. He looks horrendous. Even when he's like smiling in the most like public relations, professionally edited photo. Oh my God. Nobody looks at Biden and said, gosh, I just wish we had this salt of the earth guy. Mitchell Smith. I think it's not just the email cover up. Everything revolves around Uranium One scandal because there are some major players involved, including Mueller. Exactly. I agree with you on that. I agree 100% with you on that. And I wrote about that in debunking the Trump Russia myth on Amazon. Sarah Pena, thank you. Mitchell Smith. I agree with you. I think it does all stem from that. So, Joe Biden, oh my God, let's see. He expresses regret to Anita Hill. Okay. Progressive groups go after his voting record. There's zero electricity for this guy. Can you imagine the day that Hillary announces, it will be like everyone will be petrified, and I'll be there, like I'll be there to comfort you, like the song, like the Jackson 5 song. I'll be there. I'll be there to comfort you. Don't worry, don't be petrified. Be very happy. It'll just be like, the final steps of the Democratic Party dumpster fire seen from outer space. We need that to happen. It'll vindicate every single thing I've ever said. Everything I've ever said. Mitchell Smith, thank you. Dr. Sleaze. Valerie Rogers. It's actually Captain Sleazo. No. Dr. Sleazo. Valerie Rogers, thank you. My goodness. My goodness. Let's see. So he spoke to America about what makes America America. Joe Biden, MAGA Democrat. Oh my gosh. Why the former vice president needs voters to believe America was great before Trump ruined it. How did Trump ruin America? Because there's more jobs than people to fill them. We have a great economy. We have a very good foreign policy, much better than under Obama. How is it ruined? Aside from the meltdown, it's ruined in their brains. They actually have to go to psychologists because they're so they can't stand Trump in the White House. It's the exact opposite of what they wanted. This is a rebuke. It's like this biblical rebuke, monumental rebuke of everything the left stands for. It's fantastic. They're not like anti, believe me, like the biggest most manipulative. I don't even want to get into it. Left's full of hypocrites. Very, very. I don't want to get into it. So Sanders, let's see what Biden. There's like nothing. You can't even really find any news. Nobody really cares. He's like, I'm here for Hillary. Cory Booker swipes at Bernie Sanders. They're going after Bernie. Oh my God. He's like, what happened? I got in bed with vipers and snakes and cutthroats and boa constrictors and poisonous tarantulas. I was in bed with them, and I thought they would be very good to me, but they're not. Gosh, that was probably a bad thing to do. Bernie Sanders suggests Disney should use Avengers Endgame profits to pay workers middle-class wage. What? What does that even mean? Like, this is not the Bernie of 2016 at all. Oh my God. What would be heroic is if Disney used its profits to pay people a middle-class wage. Never mind that Trump is presiding over an economy where people are working. There are more jobs created under Trump in almost 4 years. Like, he could theoretically, jobs created under Trump. Let's see. February 2019. Trump. He's created 4.7 million jobs as of February. That's not even 3 years. Obama created 8.9 million jobs. So you're in 1 year. In 1 year, you could probably get to almost what Obama did in terms of job creation. In 1 year. Hi, Fam. What do you think of the Hillary video made with Klepper a few days ago? It went viral. It's Hillary. Is Hillary reinventing herself? Hi, Fom. Yes. Yes. Very much so. Great point. Hi, Fom. Great point. Great point. Yes, I wanted to convey that, and I don't know. There's so many. I'm just waiting for her to announce so I can just take a victory lap. Yes. Hi, Fom. Thank you. Very much so. Very, very, very much so. Yes. Huge. I mean, it's so obvious too. It's just we have to deal with this nonsense. Let's get it on. You know, heavyweight champ versus whatever. I guess heavyweight champ. She'll lose again, but let me tell you, it'll be fantastic. And they'll blame yet another reason. They won't even be embarrassed. Hi, Fom. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Fom. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be back. I want to thank you for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you so very much. I had to let everybody know. Now Mueller is chiming in. Oh yeah, you didn't accurately say what I wanted you to say. Yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. And I'll see you soon. I'll probably do either another upload or live chat later on. So check the channel. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.